How many of you know what an Emmy is? I have one at home on my desk. How many of you have seen the Magic School Bus or Goosebumps? As the co-founder and president of Scholastic Productions, I produced both the Magic School Bus and Goosebumps, plus hundreds of other hours of television programs, a few motion pictures. It was a big deal, but I have a confession to make. Just like all of you, I have a not perfect hat. More than 60 years ago, in an elementary school very much like this one, I was in a 4th grade classroom getting ready to take my first state-mandated reading test. I was terrified. We were all given number 2 pencils and were asked to take a look at the sample questions. I looked down at the first page of the test booklet, and all I saw were meaningless black dots dancing on a page. I wonder if you can imagine how I felt. I was frozen, staring down at my desk. After about 5 minutes, my teacher, Mrs. Himba, came over and asked me why I wasn't answering the questions. I looked up at her and burst into tears. Then, even though we were told at the beginning of the test that we were not permitted to leave our seats for any reason, Mrs. Himber had me stand up in front of all the other students and come out into the hall with her. Her angry question was, "Why are you disrupting the test?" My answer was simple. I can't read the questions. Mrs. Himber looked at me sternly and said, "That's impossible. Everyone in my 4th grade class can read." Back in the 1950s, they didn't have a scientific term for my struggles in school. They labeled me dumb, stupid, and retarded. It would have been flattering if someone told me I was an underachiever and not living up to my potential. But they didn't. Long story short, the following year I was placed in a special education class with a wonderful teacher named Mr. Greenhill. He got the letters to stop dancing on the page as he helped me to learn to read. I wish I could say that that was the end of my academic school problems, but unfortunately that was not the case. 60 years ago, they didn't have words for what was wrong with me. Later, when I became a teacher myself, I learned that I had learning disabilities, dyslexia, ADHD. These days, I'm working with author-illustrator Jenna Ball and educators all over the globe on Critikin and the Not Perfect Hat Club. Our goal is to change the belief that people with dyslexia and ADHD have something wrong with them. We want everyone to realize dyslexia and ADHD are just learning differences. They are not what is wrong, but what is right about me. The good news is that today there are a growing number of educators, several that I know personally in your school, who are changing the definition of learning disabilities into learning differences. Let the record show, regardless of what my test scores were or report cards, I am not stupid, dumb, or retarded. More importantly, there is something that lives in me, just like it lives in you, that Jenna calls a spark of something special. Somewhere along my journey, I learned that it was okay not to be perfect, and that it was okay just to be me. Being not perfect never goes away, and being perfect is not an option for anyone. In fact, making mistakes is how we all learn. No one in this auditorium has played a video game where they did not die over and over again as they learned to master the skills they needed to move on and level up. School, sports, and life are all the same. Making mistakes and accepting we're not perfect is how we learn, grow, and yes, ultimately succeed. Every one of us, all of us, have that spark of something special. Find it, blow on it, and turn it into a blaze.